Well, we'll start in a few minutes. We've got, well, we had 18 people register, so we'll see how many show up.
Sure.
Find out where everybody is and what they're working on.
Still trying to peddle my 2 romantic comedy features. And one has, won a couple of awards, and I think it really has a good chance of being, sold. And we'll see what happens with that. And I'm also working on a 3rd rom-com. It's a Hollywood time travel story. I describe it as Back to the Future meets Singing in the Rain.
Oh. Oh my God, I love it.
We'll see what happens.
Is it a musical?
It will have some musical elements to it. What the premise is, a sitcom showrunner and the flighty lead actress he's putting up with, they walk into a portal at their home studio and discover they're now both in 1929 when the studio is getting ready to make its first talkie. A musical, of course. So I think it's got some possibilities,
Well, you need to keep sending it out, contacting different producers. Are you on LinkedIn, Vincent?
Yeah. I haven't used it that much. I'm also, use things like Film Freeway and Script Revolution and ISA and Stage 32. So I'm hoping to sell my one of my other ones fairly quickly. It's a sci-fi rom-com called Stand Tall. It's kind of a spin on the old subgenre of giant woman movies. Except our heroine's only 16 feet tall, rather puny. And she's a Vegas casino waitress who's accidentally been tripled in size and falls in love with a scientist who accidentally made her big. And she becomes a beloved Vegas showroom headliner. But then he's kidnapped by 3 mutual foes, and she has to find a way to rescue him.
But on LinkedIn, there are producers. You can search under producers and contact them and ask what kind of scripts that they're looking for. I connected with one in LA, and he's looking for a writer to do a social commentary documentary, but I don't have any experience in that, so I can't apply to him. Well,
Right.
It's 7:05, so why don't we get started with introductions and let us know what you're working on. So Angela, if you want to start.
Okay. Hi, I'm Angie. I'm in the Toronto, Canada area. And right now I'm working on a Christmas script about 4 siblings that are getting together for the first Christmas after their parents were killed in a car accident. And it's hilarious, but does have some humor. And it's just about grief and how it affects people differently and how we carry our issues on to the next thing and how to deal with that when it happens instead of carrying it forward and everything that happens to you. So I'm finishing that right now for a producer. I have to rewrite it for COVID protocols. It's so strange reading some of the scripts that I was pitching And now there's just some things that just aren't possible anymore. It's just like her whole thing, one of the characters was about traveling. And I'm like, well, she can't go to Ireland now, so I gotta figure something out. Yeah, because now they want more things that are COVID related, or because we live in a different world now. So it's just wild to make those changes. And right now I'm working on a TV show called Tiger Child with a friend of mine based on her one-woman show about how she is giving up being a doctor to become an actress, and she's an Asian Canadian woman, and her sister, who's 10, we find out at the end of the pilot, this character is actually dead, and it's her subconscious that she's speaking with. So anytime she feels vulnerable or unsure, this character pops up and kind of heckles her. And I'm seeing a theme now about death that I didn't really intend, but yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now.
Great. And Raymond, tell us about where you are and what you're working on.
Sure. So yeah, earlier I was telling some of you guys, so I'm new to the GTA. I mean, I moved up from the States, but so I live in the west side of Toronto. I've been here for about almost a year and a half, getting close to 2 years. I'm actually a cinematographer, so but I'm in here also to, like, I love listening to a lot of stories that are going on, especially I'm helping out a buddy who's a writer. And so I'm going to be listening just to kind of understand how the writer's mentality. I just recently got done doing a TV pilot for Bell. So we just got off of that. So, you know, whenever you finish a project, you're always looking for new things to get into, right? So I'm in here really just to really listen to everyone's cool stories. And I love to seeing what the next project I can collaborate with someone else with and stuff. So that's what I'm doing on. So as a freelancer, 16 years in the industry, that's what you do, right? Finish one project, you jump in and find new people to hang out with and hope that something goes on. So that's where I'm at.
Great, thanks. Pauline, tell us about you and what you're doing.
My video keeps freezing. Sorry about that. Well, since the last time that we met, I took some of the advice, and the script that I was talking about, it's a feature-length film that I had written, and it was 144 pages long, lots and lots of dialogue. It's more like a play because I was, it's too much dialogue, and I wasn't actually telling the story visually as I should. And so since we met, I contacted Script Doctor. It's a team that works together, and they're working on the script right now, and I should get it back next week. I just felt I had to step away from it, and because every time I worked on it, I just kept adding to it. And so I didn't know how to cut it down. And so they're working on that, and I'm looking forward to getting back what they deliver. And they're also giving me feedback on the script. So
Great.
that's where I am. But can I ask a question, or should I wait until everybody goes around?
Yes, wait till
Okay.
go around. Okay, Michael, you're up next.
Hi, Mike. I'm from Jersey, Bayonne, New Jersey. I live in Jersey City, New Jersey now. I'm sort of new to this, so this is my first time here. So thank you for setting this up and having me. I'm sort of new to this world. I've always written on the side, but I've gotten into it more recently. I lost my position. I've been in financial services and sales my whole career, most of it. And due to COVID, my position was eliminated. So I started writing more often now and going back to things I had written in the past that I was doing on the side, certain projects. So what now that I've like honed in on my writing and I've started looking at stuff I read in the past, that I've written in the past, I rewrite something recently. I was like, wow, this is terrible. And so I'm kind of going back into that now and shaping it up. It's sort of a drama, more drama than comedy, but kind of like that. It's about like pub. I won't go too details, but it's like about pub life. It's about some of that, like bar life, and goes more into relationships and things like that around a bunch of different characters and a bunch of different storylines. So I'm kind of diving into that now, rewriting that and other kind of side projects. But I just want to definitely, one of the main, I've been trying to sign up for a lot of these networking events and meet people and just learn more about, you know, how to perfect my craft and how to just, you know, what are steps I can take afterwards, you know, when you're done something, what can you do to, you know, help maybe meet somebody who wants to make it or would be interested in, and things like that. So thank you. And that's pretty much it.
Great. Okay, Alex, tell us where you
Hello.
are.
Hi, Christine. Is the group chat open? I've been putting stuff in there to say hi.
Yes, no, that's great.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
And
So for the
I'll send that chat to everybody tomorrow with
okay,
other handouts and
Great.
notes. Yes.
thank you, Christine, for putting this together. I'll ask questions later. So greetings from South Florida. It's the first day it stopped raining in about 10 weeks. So extremely happy to get on a bike ride today. Is anybody an Edgar Casey fan? Anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay, then so I'm working on my pitch deck for a mini series that I wrote, extremely heavily influenced by Edgar Casey. For 3 years, I bugged the estate. They won't work with me. So I completely changed all the character names and I've had it take place in Reconstruction before he was born. So now I'm good to go. I got clever with that. So I'm always dibbling, dabbling with features, pilots, pitch decks, even working on a documentary. So busy.
Great. Okay, Barbara, you're next.
Hi everyone, my name is Barbara. I'm in Toronto as well, so very excited about that. I wrote my first screenplay in July, August, so this past summer, so it was pretty exciting and awesome. The idea kind of just came to me. I wrote it and then I entered a few contests, so I did that. And now I'm kind of keeping that ball rolling, the momentum. So now I started writing a second drama. First one was drama as well. Drama, comedy, romance, kind of all in the same, you know, boat. And now I'm writing a second one. So that's kind of what I've been up to.
And have you heard back from that producer that I gave you the lead to?
Yeah,
Anything?
so she said she's going to read it. I haven't
great.
emailed her since. I kind of wanted to just give her
Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
time. But I'll give
At
her a
least
little
a
bit.
month.
Yes, I was thinking that.
At least a month.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, I was like, let me give her a little bit more time, and then yeah, we'll see what happens. Thank you for that.
And make sure when you email her, say that you're open to notes and rewrites.
Ooh, okay. I
Put
didn't say
that
that.
in there because, you know, because some people are so tight to their script that they will not make any changes, you know, won't change one word, and you can't be like that, you know.
Yeah.
It's one thing about your opinion, and it's another thing, you know, working with a producer and a director. You have to be open to changes. Okay, John, tell us where you are and what you're working on.
Hey everybody, John. I'm new to the group. I'm from New York City, like Michael, an East Coast guy, tri-state area, writer, actor. Been writing screenplays, TV. Was a free.
You're stalling, John. You've frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, are you unfrozen yet? Oh. Okay, Vincent, while we wait for John to unfreeze himself, tell us about yourself and what you're doing.
Okay, in addition to Stand Tall and my time travel story, which I call Screen Time, I've kind of set aside right now because part of it's set in 2020, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with coronavirus in that vein. I've also written a thriller rom-com called Fugitive Sweetheart, which deals with the Witness Protection Program. A guy gets a job as a writer at a paper, believes his copy editor looks an awful lot like someone he knew back in high school. It turns out she is, but she's changed her identity. It's accidentally blown, and her mob boss ex wants revenge. He's out of prison now, and that's where all the fun starts. I'm also a film historian. For more than 13 years, I've run a blog called Carol and Company, CAROLE, ampersand CO, period, named for Carol Lombard, my favorite classic era actress. And we deal a lot with her and classic Hollywood in general. And I've written nearly 4,400 entries since the whole thing began. So
Great. So John, are you unfrozen yet? Can you tell us?
I'm
'cause-
here. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to tell us again,
Sorry.
because
Yeah. Again, I've been at this, for a few years now. I initially had some pretty good luck, but the luck has run out, and I'm still, it's all about connections. That's kind of my main thing. I'm always looking ways to build new relationships, try to get the scripts in front of the powers that be. And so, I'm always looking for new platforms to pitch. And again, meet new people. So that's really the main reason why I'm here tonight.
great. Nick, you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you're working on?
Yeah, sure. So, my name's Nick Sharma. I am, in SF Bay Area, California. I am currently in the digital marketing field, and so I do that full time. And I know I'm passionate about screenwriting, so I've been trying to, whenever I get the time on the weekends or weeknights, whenever I pretty much get the chance to write, I'll do that. Currently I'm working on an existing script that I kind of started last year. It's called, Muna Weds Luna, and it's about an Indian American man who falls for a Latina woman, and there is an age difference. He's in his early 30s, she's in her 40s. They're in different places of life, but they like each other, and kind of the cross-cultural differences. A rom-com involving like family. So yeah, I'm expanding on that. I'm up to 20 pages now. So I'm getting there, but I'm using a lot of these you guys' expertise and experience and applying it here. And Christine told me to focus on one script at a time, because I had the issue of when I have too many things going on, it's just hard for me to so and that's been really beneficial. So yeah, that's the plan, and I'm just I'm 20 pages down, and I'm trying to expand every month and see where it takes me. Maybe if everything goes well after rewriting, I might submit it. But yeah.
Great, good.
Thank you.
So Julie, introduce yourself and tell us what you're working on.
Hi, my name is Julie. Please excuse my kitchen preparation. I suddenly realized I hadn't eaten yet and I'm starving. I'm in Toronto, Canada, and I'm an actor and director, and I've been at that for a really long time, but I recently had an idea for a TV show. So I'd like to write it, but not being someone who's inherently motivated by writing, it's been tricky. So what I'd like to do is find some co-writers who have TV experience, who know, because obviously TV is a business. And I've written, plays and films and whatnot, usually under duress, because I have an idea that no one else is going to write, so I just do it, but I don't love writing. And so I'd really like to meet people who are professional television writers who know kind of how to write specifically for TV, and write this show together and then try and pitch it. And the show is basically a detective comedy, and it's like a pretty dark comedy involving a detective and bear sidekick. So I have very detailed ideas of the characters, but not a lot of plans for the plot. For me, it's much more character driven, so I almost don't care what the plot is, but obviously I want it to be compelling. So if anyone wants to collaborate, feel free to holla at me in the chat.
Great. Yes. Well, put your email in the chat and write a bit about what you're looking for. And like I said, this chat will be sent out tomorrow to everybody. Okay, Doug, if you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you're working on.
Yeah, I just stopped by, see what condition everything is in. I'm a retired old producer, writer, and used to work in television. So I'm probably one of those people you want to talk to, Julie. I was a staff writer for Northern Exposure and a couple of others like that years back. I've been there. But right now I'm kind of retired. I was starting to teach filmmaking here at the University of Oregon. But with the COVID business going on here, the governor shut us all down again. So yeah, it's pretty much over. So I'm not doing much of anything. I'm really not shooting anything right now. I was out shooting a little bit of B-roll for the local news station the other day, but that's about all.
Great. Fatima, are you able to tell us a bit about what's going on with you?
Hi everyone. Yes, sorry, my internet is unstable, so I cannot join video. Yeah. My name is Fatima. I just joined screenwriter, and 2 weeks ago, Mr. Doug told me about the screenwriter Bibles. I started that book. And also I watched the short movie winning Oscar for the last 5 years. And also I almost finished my first short script.
Great, great. Yes.
Thank you.
If you don't mind me asking, what's your short script about? Your genre or, a small blurb.
Sure. It's about a disabled child who's stuck in a subway, and the elevator is out of service, and the disabled child should go through the stairs with his mom. So yeah.
Yeah, great. So my name's Christine Whitlock. I'm living in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And I'm on the 7th edit of my Hallmark Christmas mystery TV pilot. And hope to do one more edit before I give it to a script doctor to check on. And I've got a number of producers I can send it off to. So that'll be finished. And then I have a alien football script that I came up with last year, and I've been doing research on that. But this other script that I have an idea for him that I had worked on a couple of years ago, it keeps coming up to my mind, like saying, do me next. So it's like, which one will I do next? And I know weeks ago Nick was having the problem of coming up with too many ideas and what to do with them. Well, I came up with a new idea for a dramedy of young women, and so I came up with the idea. So I made a file for it in my Word documents. I wrote the date when I came up with the idea. So any other work that I'm going to do on that idea, like if I do a log line or a synopsis or characters or beat sheet, make sure that you put a date on it. Like I'm now putting dates on when I start my edits to find out how long are my edits taking me for my script writing. Because to get yourself as a professional writer, you need to know how long it takes you to write a script and then to edit it. Like it's one thing to be creative. Another thing is to deal with the business side of it. Like, you know, as soon as you finish your script and you think it's the best that you've got it, you need to copyright it, either in Canada or the States, wherever you are. If you go through Writers Guild of America, East or West, it's only good for 5 years. If you go through the Copyright Office, which is about 3 times more, it's for your life and plus 75 years. So if you're planning to do a number of revisions on your script, then it's best, I would say, to pay just the $20 until you've, you know, gotten it to the best that you can to pay the extra money. Unless you don't mind paying $60 to continue. Okay, we've got a new person, Jesse. If you want to introduce yourself and tell us what you're working on.
Hi, yeah, so my name's Jesse. This is my second meeting with the group. So currently, I'm more of like a television writer than a film writer. So I'm currently working on this one series. I've completed 3 episodes of it. I was just doing a little bit of cleaning and editing last night and earlier today. And as Christine was saying, I've actually copyrighted the first 2 episodes because I've been showing it around to some people, just kind of get some input, hopefully do something with it. So obviously I'm going to do that. I want to make sure they're protected and they are mine. If you have the software Final Draft, there's actually an option with it, which if you click on it, takes you right towards copywriting with American, the West and East, the one that Christine was mentioning. So that's what I use, and that was like very, very helpful, only like $20 each. So that's totally great. One thing I've been working on that I'm really struggling with is creating my show Bible. Not sure if anyone here has any experience creating one of those, but it sounds easy because you know exactly what you want your show to be. You know the characters, you know everything, but actually it's like putting into words, summarizing it, making it sound interesting and marketable. That's actually very challenging. So that's kind of what I've been struggling on. And also coming up with a title for, I've been working on this project for 3 years now. And every time I think I found a title, I just hate it so much. So I'm really working on trying to show it to more people. So hearing their input and be like, okay, based on what you know about this show, based on what you understand, how would you put it into like a few words? Like how would you title it? So that's my struggle at the moment.
Notice all of you seem to be concerned about having it copywritten or registered with the WGA East or West or whatever. And as new writers, why do you feel that's necessary?
A lot of producers won't accept it unless you've had it copyrighted. And a lot of the websites where you can list your scripts won't allow you to list them unless they're copyright.
You do understand that when you set something to paper, it is automatically copyrighted, period. No question about it. Now, if you want to go ahead and spend the money to register that with the Copyright Office, that's fine. If you want to spend the money to register it with the WGA West or East, that's fine too, for the 20 bucks it takes. But registering it there really doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean a thing. So what you want to do is get your work out there in the hands of people who want to read it. And I keep seeing all the time people, young writers in particular, are so concerned that somebody is going to steal their idea, that somebody's going to steal their work or something like that. The first thing you have to understand is that there isn't a producer out there, even close to being in his right mind, who is going to steal your work. It would be a hell of a lot cheaper for him just to buy it.
And also on Facebook, under the script writing and filmmaking, there's a number of markets that you need to check on a regular basis, because they do have producers asking for scripts. And I'll be sending you that list tomorrow. Now, I find the groups on LinkedIn, they're not as active, but networking with directors and producers on LinkedIn is very effective, because you can ask them what is it that they're looking for. So it's important to have a profile on there, and you know, tell people what you're working on, and ask them what you're working on. Because I said earlier that producer in California, he's looking for documentary writer. He wants to put a project together on a social commentary, but right now I don't know anybody who does that kind of writing. If you know anybody, let me know, and then I can pass a name along to them. But it's, you know, it's interesting to find out what different producers are working on. And like, especially these days, they want it all minimal locations and actors because of the COVID restrictions. You're going to say something, Doug?
I was going to say, what's the matter with Michael Moore?
Why, what is he working on these days?
I don't know what he's working on now, but he does a lot of documentary stuff, and he's up there in your neck of the woods. He's up there in Michigan.
Okay. Oh, Pauline, you said you had a question you wanted to ask?
See. No, let's see. How do you do this? I'm trying to get my
Yeah, your video's frozen.
It's frozen, but can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, as the amateur here in the group, I wanted to ask a question as people were going around. I think it was Raymond who mentioned that he was working on a TV pilot. And I'm just curious, are you working on, I mean, have you been engaged by a company, by a producer to work on a pilot, or is this your own idea that you're hoping to sell? I mean, how does it work? I don't know. I've never really been paid for anything I've done, so I'm really the amateur here.
I can share my experience with it. For those of the guys who weren't here when I told everybody. So I'm actually a cinematographer, director of photography. My buddy who wrote this thing, we actually filmed the pilot for in Canada. Here in Toronto, they are looking for more Canadian content. So a lot of producers that I've spoken to about it who purchased this, they actually bought it, and they let me choose my team to bring onto the project. When we were actually going through it, the writer, this gentleman named Kim, him and I sat down and talked about his project. And he said, hey, what we did to get his name in front of them is actually we created a 1.5 minute, you know, like pitch video pilot to go along with his script. When we created that and brought that in front of the producers, they basically ate it up faster than if they just got a script, which is very, very impressive. I was surprised, and we were like, okay. So the company here is Bell. Bell is like one of the larger Canadian content people. They took it, they paid for it. They gave us the budget to be able to take a full team. During this COVID time, we shot it actually 2 months ago. We finished filming at the end of last month. So right now it's in post, but I wanted to, so I came in here basically to kind of like share my experiences for people. Like Doug was saying with the copyright thing, this guy didn't have his script copyrighted and got picked up by the TV, you know, company. He didn't need it to get copyrighted. But yeah, to answer your question, Pauline, we did shoot it, we pitched it to the producers at Bell because they were looking for more Canadian content, and they took it, gave us a call, and said, "Hey, would you guys like to finish it and take your team, and we'll give you guys a budget to make it happen." We were given strict parameters. They had to readjust the script to fit the parameters. Based for TV, like there's a few. It was a comedy. There's a few jokes in there that are a little too much for the for the content that they were allowing on television, or actually they're doing it for the web as well. So they did ask that. So whenever we went in there, the writers, there's 2 of them now, they had to basically rewrite parts of the script to match with the parameters requested. So when you go in there on a TV basis, I know Julie's looking at trying to do TV stuff. That's the thing that we ran into going through. But we did get it funded. We are in the post process right now. I saw Alex's hand.
Yeah, thank
I'd
you.
actually put something in for Doug about not to stick on the copywriting, but someone had asked me for an NDA. Doug, what's your feeling on that? Should everything be sent out with some type of non-disclosure agreement notes? I mean, just asking.
Most everybody is going to request an NDA. I mean, that's just kind of a standard run-of-the-mill thing. It really protects the producer and the director more than you. So they are far more interested in that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Just in case they've got other scripts that have been pitched to them that are similar. You know, that they don't want to get into the situation, because I know I just had to sign an NDA for one of my comedy scripts sent that producer that I had contacted through Inktip. So Inktip and screenwriting staffing, I send off a lot of my pitches to them.
Love
so,
Jacob. That guy's awesome. Love Jacob.
Can
yes.
I interject with a question before we
Sure.
move off of NDAs? I keep getting asked for an NDA and I don't have one. And so I keep cobbling it together from different ones online, but none of them seem to be geared for writers. And so there's a lot of references to the experiment or the product or, you know, like the factory. And I'm just trying to sub stuff out. But does anyone have a relatively concise one that they could just send me so I can use it? Because I'm getting kind of like in my lawyer head trying to figure out like, what other extenuating circumstances could there be that I should make sound fancy? And like, it's silly. I'm not that kind of writer.
Yes, I can send you one. I'll attach it tomorrow for everybody. The one that Inktip sent to me, so you can see generic type.
Thank you so much. I'm just going back off video while I finish eating because I don't think anyone wants to see that, but I'll be back. I'm still here listening.
Good. So like the people who are just starting up, like Pauline, and Mike, it's very important that you check out first, you know, any books that are in your library or any resources on the website that are free, because there's all kinds of webinars, and especially on YouTube, how to write scripts that are free before you start paying for anything. Even Roadmap writers have all kinds of free webinars on their website. So I'll be sending another page of different kinds of websites and links where you should sign up for newsletters and stuff to be on their email list. And when they offer free things, you know, take advantage of them to hear about all these things that are going on. And I know recently there isn't too many filmmakers other than Doug here, but there's been recently a number of emails giving you advice on how to do a micro budget film. So that's good to know. And also a number of examples of people making films with their cell phone, you know, doing it that way. And we had a gentleman before who did a short film and had it accepted in a contest. Oh, and then talking about contests, because the next time we'll be meeting won't be until December 7th, because this is twice a month, the first and third Monday of the month. So check your information on, and I'll put that link in the email tomorrow, that the new contest for Netflix and all of a sudden I can't think of his name, Ron Howard. Is it Ron Howard? And November 30th, Monday, November 30th, it comes out what kind of script that they'll be looking for. And Barbara had sent out her script a few weeks ago when they were asking for thriller scripts. But they were asking for a lot of information in the details that you had to provide them. So don't decide for the last minute, you know, to submit your script, because there's a lot of things that you have to research and put together as your proposal before you can submit it. And one of those things is I think it was a 30-second video of yourself pitching. You were going to say something, Alex?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on, I also applied. It was the most intense application I've ever done. They wanted to know things such as how your character feels and thinks, and what's your motivation to actually write in the story. Why can only you tell the story and nobody else? I mean, I spent about 5 hours on that thing. It was, wow, it blew my mind. But I actually learned a lot more about my lead characters by actually going through that application. So for those of you, if you're thinking of doing it this time around, be prepared, because like I said, it was extremely intense, but I'm glad I actually did it.
Question, was it just for thrillers they're looking for?
This time around. The next one's a different thing, as Christine had said.
Gotcha.
Yes, I think this is the fourth set. So November 30th, they haven't, November 30th, they'll let us know what genre they'll be looking for.
Okay, and where do I go to get the information? Is it on the...
I put that in your last email, but I'll be
Okay.
doing it again tomorrow,
Okay.
the
Sure.
link. And then
Okay.
on the 30th, and then we'll talk
you.
about it.
Do you know how many pages there's is required around, or
Well, it was a feature that they wanted.
a feature film? Okay,
So it would have to be at least 60 pages.
60 pages.
And it's due on November 30th? That's the...
No, that's when they'll announce.
Okay, okay.
They'll
It's
announce
called Imagine
what
Impact.
genre.
Look out for the name Imagine Impact.
Okay.
But I'll send you the link
And
tomorrow.
how long does it? How long do you have to, write this? Like, do you know when the due date for the submission is, or
We'll find out on
usually-
the 30th.
Okay. All right.
Because I think it was
Okay.
about a month. Was it about a month, Barbara, that you had? When it
I feel like it was
opened?
2 weeks.
Or just
Like
2
I
weeks?
feel like they opened like it was something like November 1st until the 12th or something like that. But I feel like it was about 2 weeks that it was
Oh,
open
just
for.
2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
As I
this is
said-
Netflix we're talking about, is that right?
Yeah, Netflix.
Okay.
And they were paying WGA minimum, which is $60,000. About 60,000.
Do you need
But-
to be a member of like the WGA to join, or?
Oh no, that was just the rate that they said they were paying, the minimum. No, but you don't have to belong to anything. But just as practice, I would say go, because I copied the whole application, because as Alex said, it was a good thing to find out what kind of questions that these producers are asking, about your script. Because if you're doing a pitch, you have to know these kind of questions about your characters, you know, and plot and all that kind of stuff. So here they've given you the questions and you write them all out. And if you ever need to pitch it moving forward, even if, you know, you don't win in any of these contests, it's good to find out. So, you know, even on November 30th, download the application, copy it, and, you know, answer the questions for yourself. Because I know one of the questions, which would have been too difficult for my thriller script that I had, it said they wanted to know all of the contests and all of the producers that you had pitched your script to. And I first wrote that thriller script in 1988. That was my first feature script. And it's been, you know, of course, edited over the years and sent to hundreds of producers and all kinds of different places and stuff. So I could never, I never kept track of it. So that's what I'm saying. For every script that you write, you have to think of the business side of these kind of questions. You have to keep track of everybody that you send it to and what the response was, and like keep an Excel spreadsheet of who you've sent it to, and then contact them. Like if they don't say when you should contact them, I wouldn't contact them less than a month or even up to 3 months. Give them the time. They may need to, you know, find other producer partners to look at this script or find out about settings, because I know in the States, different states have film, not like free things, but what do you call it? You know, they give you benefits if you film in that state.
Yeah, I used to be a member of here in Oregon. We have the film department, OFAM. I've been appointed to that by the governor a few years back.
Yeah, so, you know, they might say, well, maybe it's better for us to film in Georgia or in New Orleans because they have those film credits, the tax credits that, and I don't know how it is in Canada right now, if they still have the tax credits. I know they used to, like if you filmed up north, like Sudbury and farther north, there would be certain kinds of tax credits. And then there used to be, like if you came and filmed in Hamilton, because it was outside of Toronto, you would get certain tax credits for doing that.
They still have both those tax credits because that's how we were able to get the funding for our film. Is they asked us to stay in Hamilton in the Toronto area to be able to get it funded. So they said that we're only going to let you guys film if you use the studios and the location in Hamilton. Then they'd give us the tax credits for that. And half our team had to also be from Hamilton, which I thought was very odd. But anyways.
Essentially, the Canadians are far more willing to come to America, or I should say, we're more friendly towards Canadians than the Canadians are towards us coming to Canada. You're much more protective up there of your market. You know, that's why
that's an interesting view there, Doug. We've actually had a pretty. I'm American. I'm up here in Canada, and you know what I've learned from the guys who are coming up here from America. There's actually a lot of American producers in the Canadian region. They come up here because a lot of the Canadians do like the Americans for the fact that your dollar is way stronger than the Canadian right now, and so you guys are saving money, but you're giving all of us basically all of our rates. So it's kind of hand in hand kind of happiness right now that they're kind of going for. So on the east side over here towards the GTA or in Toronto and Ontario, they've been pretty open to a lot of American who've come through. Obviously with COVID, it's been a different kind of ballgame, but I know last year we had quite a few actual American producers I ran into since I've been up here. That's very interesting. But I you know, to go with you, I will say on the west side, in Alberta, those guys have definitely been having a kickback for Canadians to be more of the content creators than the Americans coming up. But
Yeah, I've experienced this mostly, you know, because I'm out here in the West, up in the Vancouver area. And, you know, like we're very open to the producers and the developers and the writers from that part of the world down into Seattle and Portland market. But for us, the Canadians are a little less inviting.
But as far as I know, in Vancouver, they're still continuing with their film production out there.
Very strong, very
Very
strong.
strong. Even during COVID, because one of our writer-directors, his Hallmark movie is going to be on Tuesday the 24th, so I look forward to watching it.
Vancouver did a really good job of managing their symptoms earlier on and managing the spread of COVID. I have a really close friend who works in film there, and I used to work in film there before I moved to Toronto. And yeah, COVID wise, like they just had way fewer numbers and they seem to have their act together now, whereas Toronto, it's a bad scene. So I think that explains, but yeah, they're back, they're shooting. They've been talking about maybe going on another hiatus, but now that everyone's started shooting, they're getting really intense pushback, obviously.
And I know here in Hamilton, down near our waterfront, they've designated a big plot of land to build film studios. That's through the city that's taken this on, because so many, I think they've already had 100 shoots in Hamilton since the COVID restrictions have been lifted. I don't know how it is right now, because we've gone back to the red on today. We got back to the red, so that's caused some problems with us here. But
my understanding for when it comes to the COVID guidelines on the production side, because we were on a production and we actually have one that's coming up that we're going to be filming on. They said as long as we stay underneath the supervised guidelines, they're leaving us alone, thankfully. Supervised meaning we have a COVID compliant officer. We've had all of our stuff set up. We have the production insurance that ensures that. We have, of course, the Hamilton film production leases and all those in order. Then they've allowed us to keep filming. And we asked the film commission to ensure that that was true, so we didn't get in trouble. We're like, we don't want to get in trouble, so we want to make sure. But when I was talking to the producers about that, and they're like, yeah, as long as we have those are in order and everyone's doing their due diligence to keep showcase to productions we are following the rules, then they're allowing us to film in Hamilton. But yeah, in terms of Hamilton, yeah, if you walk around, you can throw a stone and hit a production that's going on. Disney's doing something down the road in Hamilton right now, and they're shooting stuff currently running around there. So,
Right, I have a question. Because you said that you had to your buddy had to rewrite the script for COVID. I'm doing that right now, and before COVID, there were huge extra scenes. There's a lot I have to dwindle down to. It's like a Hallmark movie. So there's a small town and there's like random people in the small town. Are like how many restrictions in the script? I know you have to do I'm assuming it's many little locations and actors as possible. That's what I'm gathering.
are you asking like COVID guidelines to script, actors, and location and those kind of things that you're asking?
Yeah, because I don't want to submit the script if it gives too many red flags in this day and age of they're just like, oh, there's just way too much that is going to need to be rewritten. So I just want to make sure it's as prepared as possible to be submitted.
Sure. We I thankfully was in a lot of the pre-production meetings, so I can give this answer to you. I was talking to the actor representatives, and they told me if for anybody in the States, actors basically are the one. I don't forget what the American one is, but anyways, the actor group, they basically said as long as we stayed underneath, I think 6 in a room, it was okay. Actors without masks on, having a discussion. We actually had that. We had a room full of 8 actors, and we had an actor representative on site to ensure we actually followed that. So they allowed that. As terms of crew, we weren't allowed to go beyond 25 people total on our crew, which is pretty small. Because I mean, we have everybody from your AD to all the assistants, ACs, DPs, and all them are all in the room together, and we had to basically move Video Village all over the place, and people were on and off set and a lot. So, mainly for the network though. The network is the one who made that decision. It wasn't because of COVID. The network requested them to rewrite it for their guidelines. So it's really network based. If you were to go TV. I don't know much on the film side as much. I don't do a whole lot of films currently. I mean, I do short films, but I haven't done a feature yet with anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, the question is, what is your question? Are you dealing with a feature film or a major production?
Sorry, a feature film.
Okay.
A feature dramedy.
Why are you writing for today's COVID market when your feature film won't even be produced for a couple of years?
Well, there's some talks with different producers, like Netflix, for instance, is continuing their COVID protocols. They said indefinitely. So because if it's not COVID, it's something else. So a lot of productions now, it's becoming standard practice moving forward to do these protocols. So I would just rather be safe than sorry and try to, like you said, like try to keep the actors minimum and the locations minimum.
Well, keeping the budget low and a low number of actors, the low number of locations and everything like that, that's a positive point right there. But writing it with this idea of being restricted by all kinds of COVID issues, if you're dealing with a feature film that's not going to hit the silver screen for 3 to 5 years, I don't think you have to be too concerned about it, because it's going to be something that, even if that is still going on, that's going to be something that the producer, the director, the stage manager, those people are going to have to deal with. But I think as a writer, you don't have to deal with that.
Okay, great. Thanks.
That's what I was saying earlier to Barbara, that, when she gets back to the producer or follows up with her script, to say that you're open for notes and rewrites, because depending where they're filming is how are the COVID restrictions. Like if it's out in Vancouver, if they aren't as strict as they are here in Toronto, then you may not have as many changes in your script. But you may think about those changes. You write it as a regular script, and then when they say, well, we need it based on COVID, then you can go and change it to be, less characters and less settings and crowds and things like that. So it'd be almost like 2 scripts on the same theme, right?
I have a general question to the group, and again, it's we've been talking about pitching a lot and ideas and getting in front of people. In this time, again, it's tough to travel. We're not all jumping on planes and going to LA and trying to get in, into these pitch meetings with the producers and agents and whatnot. Who is pitching a lot now? I know that they are being pitched. I've read interviews. I've seen interviews online that big time producers are still sitting in on pitch meetings via what we're doing here on Zoom. So business is still rocking. They're still buying scripts. They're still interested in story ideas. Who's pitching? Where are you pitching? I've done some stuff on Stage 32. I don't know if anybody knows of Stage 32. It's kind of a pay-to-play thing. you know, you get in front of agents and producers. I've had some luck there, but I'm curious, what other platforms are there? What other avenues are there? I'm all ears when it comes to who's pitching and where are you pitching.
Like I said, I'll be sending you that document tomorrow with all those places. But Inktip has a weekly newsletter with producers looking for scripts. Screenwriting staffing, I get daily. Today I got for 2 producers looking for scripts. Roadmap Writers is doing a lot of pitching, and they have free webinars all the time. They have a new series coming up this week. And Script Revolution, Alex, I think you mentioned them, because I check every Saturday morning about what new writing gigs that they've got. You have other, Alex?
I just want to make a note. I mean, I've been writing about 7 years. I have some very good connections and actual personal friends in the industry, and I don't bug them about my writing. Because 7 years later, I know because of different ways, I'm like at an A- now. I'm getting to like be a finalist in places and blah, blah, blah. So I just want to tell everybody, make sure your writing is amazing and kick-ass before you start spending all this money on Stage 32, et cetera, because you may get one chance to put your script in front of a producer, 3 or 4 pages in, they'll kick it out. They don't give you even first 10 pages anymore. Most producers want to see treatments. Raymond had talked about the proof of concept video. That's another way because people are so busy. I learned the hard way by trying to do some marketing before I was an amazing writer. And I'm not quite an amazing writer yet. So I just want to tell people out there, really concentrate on the writing before you start putting yourself out there, because I actually produce stuff. I'll give you my website and you can see the famous people I work with. And I work with writers and I tell them 2 pages in, sorry, no. Stupid things like formatting errors and typos and stuff like that. Don't want to know you. So I'm just saying, really concentrate on the writing rather than all this pitching and everything, because that's going to come. You will be noticed if you are an amazing writer. It happens. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
So John, have you got John with
Yeah.
San Francisco behind you? Have you got anything new to tell us?
Not really. Like I said, my main concern right now, I'm taking my 5 scripts. I'm rewriting them all. I sent the one back. The first one I wrote that I told you came in the top 20% at Nichols way back. And we found a hole in it though. So I got to go back and I got to tighten that one up. And then I'm rewriting the other ones, like I said, as I go along. My main thing right now is getting one of them sold. That's the biggest thing. You know, otherwise I'm writing for a hobby. So
I got an email today from Nichols that in December, they're having a table read of the top nickel winners with some actors. So that's certainly interesting to find out who those top scripts were and what they're about, and hearing them read by, you know, some top actors. So I'll send you that, forward you that email tomorrow. And that's why, you know, reading and watching all of the Oscar winners, you know, read all of the Oscar winner scripts and the short scripts. They're all free online.
Christine, I couldn't find the short script Oscar winner short film. Do you know what is the website or to download it?
No, it's not on their on the Oscar website.
No, I couldn't find it. I mean, I just took a look but I couldn't find anything.
Just put the name in a Google search. You put the name, script, and PDF behind it, and you'll find someplace that has it. If it's available, some aren't. Some aren't.
So Barbara just put it on chat, IMDb. And so like John said, find out what the name of those Oscar-winning scripts are, which would be on the Oscar website, and then Google them from there. But like, at least you could see about watching them.
So Christine, you mentioned about the Nichols table read with the actors.
Right.
So is that a recorded video, or how do you, what is that? Do you can join it? Or? Okay.
I'll send you the email tomorrow so you can check it out when it's in December.
Okay, but what, I'm a little unclear.
There's no cost to it.
Okay, so anybody can join it, or?
Like I said, it didn't say there was a cost to it, that anybody could.
Okay.
And I'm not sure whether it's live or it's recorded.
Okay. Okay. Well, I look forward to the email.
Yes. Yeah.
I just
Almost
I
all
didn't
of
know they
those.
have things like this. That's cool though. Yeah.
Almost all of those are recorded, and you can get a recording of your script. I had one of mine read at Sundance, and I have a recording of that. The other question I have is, you guys always talk about the Nichols. What is the Nichols? There's a G. Nichol competition, but what is the Nichols?
Nichols is the Nichols Fellowship at the Oscars.
Is it the Nichols Fellowship or is it the G. Nichol Fellowship?
I don't know. Everybody calls it the Nichols.
Yeah, well, everybody is wrong.
G. Nichols Fellowship. G. Nichols Fellowship.
G. Nichol.
Well, whatever. So,
The Oscar one.
yeah.
It's through the Oscar website that you go and apply through.
Can you see, do they post like on the website, like the scripts that won and things like that? Like, are you able to do that?
What, from the Nichol competition?
Yeah.
It's a competition. It's not like.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm like
Nichol
the old
competition.
scripts from like the old years, like, 5
Are you
years
talking
ago.
about? Are you talking about the Oscars?
No, the competition, the Nichols competition.
I don't know how far back that
Okay.
they keep the scripts
Okay.
that have won.
Okay. Maybe I could
Most
do
of them
some
haven't
research.
been sold, so then you're not going to get to read them. They're private.
Yeah, read. Okay.
What would be in it for them to post that script?
See, they wouldn't normally post it if it's not produced.
Okay.
They wouldn't post it if it's not produced. That's why, and then the produced scripts are not the spec scripts that may have been sent to the producer. That's the filming script that you would see. So it could be, quite a bit different.
Okay. Great.
No, Alex, this isn't the place for table reads. Now this Zoom meeting is only for networking and sharing. There are other groups that do table reads, but this isn't. I used to do table reads of my scripts at an art gallery for about 5 years in Hamilton. But we don't do that here. We just share information and about contests and agents and.
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm confused about the blacklist. I know that you can pay to have your script on the blacklist, but I also know that there's like some cachet on being on the blacklist, but I'm confused if you can just pay to have your script on there, or is there a step I'm missing about getting on the blacklist? Am I missing something?
Well, for the blacklist, you would submit your script and you would pay for them to review it. And if you get a high enough rating on your script, then it is recommended.
Okay, I see.
So a number of different websites do that. And
Okay.
I think Script Revolution is one of those. And John, you've got your scripts on there?
They're older copies now, but my scripts are on Script Revolution. They don't have a paid service. That is a totally free thing to post your scripts on it. Producers come. I've gotten a couple of reads off of it.
Well, I had to pay to become a member of Script Revolution.
No, there's no fee. It's free. They do have patron. How do you say patron? Where you like I donate $50 a year. It's $5 a month, $60.
Yeah, $5 a month to maintain it, but you know, it's essentially it's pretty free to get involved with. The CJ has done a really nice job with it.
He's done a great job.
Yeah.
And now he's tying in this script hop where you can almost put like a deck together and, you know, package. It's not really a deck, but it's a package. And you could tie that in with the Script Revolution, so you'll be on 2 sites with everything about your script.
So what was the other script? Oh, sorry, what was the other website?
Script hop.
Script Hop.
Yeah.
It's a very visual way to create pitch decks. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
They do a nice job. They do a nice job too. And that's free. That's free also.
Alex,
So
I
okay.
have a question for you. You were talking about pitch decks a lot. They're becoming a lot more essential part of the pitching process, and you know, the visual eye candy is that fair to say?
I mean, maybe Doug knows more, but from what I've seen from connections, especially if you're pitching a brand new TV series idea, they obviously want to see an amazing pilot, but they want to see that through line of this first season, the next 5 seasons. So that's why pitch deck is becoming just another tool for a writer or producer to get the funding, in a sense, to get it made. It's just another tool because everyone's so busy. Who has time to read, you know, a 65-page pilot? Give me a treatment of 3 pages or show me a very visual pitch deck that I can go through in 10 minutes. It's just another different tool that a lot of people are using.
To add to Alex, I'll give him, when I talked to the producers at Bell here, because I had to go and talk to them about delivery, everything for our book, they said they had probably like 400 different scripts come through daily for some of the content, because they were offering to give money to people's scripts to go out, and they were really only reading the first 2 pages, or if people had a proof of concept created, a 2-minute proof of concept put together, that the writers would collaborate with, you know, filmmakers to make like their best part of their script, so they can give them a feel what their script's about, and that's the ones that they put forward first before, because the rest of it, because they don't, like Alex said, they don't have time to read through that many scripts, or like, you know, there's only so many producers doing that.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I actually responded to a thing on Stage 32, and I got picked up for development with an LA company to produce a POC film. I think there's an article coming out on Stage 32 about it soon. And it's just, again, I think especially as writers and when we're networking, because we're at that level now, we just need to have everything in our arsenal when we make the right connection. So if I'd never met Doug this way and I'm at, I don't know, some event and I meet Doug and he goes, oh, I really love this guy, Edgar Casey, I'm looking to make a film, and I can drop into his email a pitch deck that's 18 slides and a 3-page treatment. Okay, I've fulfilled what he needs. So I always think as a writer, we always have to keep in mind, and Christine said this a lot, is the business side and the producers. If you can write in the mind of a producer, the young lady, I think it was Angela, talked about locations and you know, limiting your actors. Sometimes you do need to do that, but not always. So I just think, you know, Raymond's backed me up here. Always have something in your arsenal ready to go when you make that right connection.
Well, you know, as a producer, You send me a 2-minute, 3-minute video. I'll look at that. You send me a 100-page script. I'm going to get past page 1 or 2 before I've made a decision. And, you know, because I don't have time. There's just not enough time in the day. You know, going through the number of scripts that are descending, you know, from out of the blue on us is like taking a sip from a fire hose, you know, looking for the right thing. And a lot of times producers are into certain markets. They want to do certain kinds of things. For me, I like to do the paranormal comedy kind of stuff. But so I'm not going to do your slasher film. Don't send it to me. You send me another zombie script and I'm going to puke on it. I mean, you know, you have to understand who these people are. They are people who run businesses just like you are trying to run your business as a writer. So send your script to the guy that actually has some use for it. Pay attention to your research. Don't just shotgun it out there blind.
All you have to do is go on IMDb and just look up their name and they'll list everything they ever made. I've had some guys ask for a script and I went on IMDb. They said they have 4 credits on it. They have none.
Yeah.
So I didn't send it to them. They were phonies. But, you know, it's a good thing to do. I never send it out now without looking at it as their name on IMDb.
You know, that's not really necessary. I mean, there are a lot of people who are I'm on IMDb, but I don't have a page on IMDb because my background has always been as field producer, line producer, that kind of stuff. I've done some audio work and that sort of thing. But what do I want a page for? I'm retired. I don't need that stuff.
It's not a page, Doug. If I look up your name will come up on the individual films.
Yeah, you'll find my footy prints all over in there, but you know, it's not like you're going to find where I have a filmography posted on there. I teach, I do a lot of writing, I do a lot of shorts, that kind of stuff, but I'm not interested in getting involved in the commercial market anymore. Been there, done that. Don't need to do that again. So I think that when you're pitching a story, when you're pitching a line, whatever you're pitching, do your research. Find somebody who can figure out how to make a buck off of what you're selling. Because if you can't make a buck off of what you're selling, he ain't gonna buy it. It's that simple.
I love how you talk, Doug, I have to say.
It's just the facts of the world. I mean, it's the way it is.
He was in the trenches. He knows what he's talking about.
I learned that working with Tom Sawyer in the old Murder, She Wrote series and the Father Dowling mysteries and stuff like that. I mean, it goes back that far. I go all the way back into the late 60s. I've been on sets with Hitch, you know, and I've watched the way he produces or directs scenes and things like that. And you learn a lot from that. And even if you just want to be a writer, you know, if you just want to be a writer, you know, to me, that's the pinnacle. But get your butt on a set someplace. Become a PA. Learn how to prowl around the set without knocking the light stands over, you know. And you'll make more acquaintances by doing that than you will by being on Stage 32 or some, you know, filmmaking forum or something like that. Get out amongst real live people. Don't hide behind your computer. Don't hide behind a screen. This industry doesn't work that way.
Fortunately, now we kind of have to with COVID.
That's why every morning I go on to LinkedIn and try to connect with at least 5 new people. And, you know, they're not all going to connect with you. And then when, you know, they come back to you, you say, you know, thanks for connecting. What are you working on? You know, you can't be too aggressive in your pitching. Just find out what they're doing and how can you help them. And, you know, if they find out that, you know, you're a normal kind of person and you tell them what kind of things you're working on or what kind of things you're looking for, that they'll help you. And like I said, I need everybody to tell me what they're working on, because if I hear of producers like I did for Barbara that was looking for that kind of drama, you know, I sent her the contact and she was able to send it through and hopefully something will come about. But, you know, you need people that'll help you. And that's what I want this to be is, you know, everybody knows so many other people and have different experiences, and we need to share and help each other to sell our scripts and make our projects. Because just because you sell a script doesn't mean it's going to be made into, you know, a film. It could take, some films they said took 20 years before they came to some screen, and it wasn't the big screen. You know, it could have been a feature or written as a feature, and then it turned out into a TV movie or became a web series or whatever else that's going to be in the future with written word. But as Alex said, we have to improve our writing. That's the main thing that has to be done. Make it as clean as you can. Yes, Alex.
If anybody's watched on Amazon, a very good series called Carnival Row, Travis Beecham wrote that script originally as a feature 15 years ago. And 9 years into that story, somebody liked it so much that they were willing to work with him, and they ended up making a feature, and it got released last year on Amazon. So it's always about the long game. That's the best advice I was ever given by David Frankel. It is the long game in this business. Work at your craft, have something you can show people how good you are at that craft, and you know, the opportunities will come. But you get an opportunity, you don't have a great product, like Doug had said, who's going to invest money in your script? People put, if you're writing 140-page scripts, don't. It's not going to get made. Okay? Occam's razor. That's what I live by, Occam's razor.
And the other thing is, you can't throw out anything. Even in your revisions, you should make different numbered documents of your scripts, because you never know what pieces that you had at the beginning may later on, you know, a producer says, what about this or that? And that was in your first or second revision. So keep your revision different numbers of your scripts, and any ideas or anything that you see, write them down and keep a file of them either on your computer or I just did a whole bunch of filing of writing ideas and you know, people's comments on your scripts, because some things could stir you up about how to change them for the better.
Christine, just to add on to that, so one of the producers I'm working with is Giovanni Lampassi. He's Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy, Veronica Mars. And he explains to me, just like you said, he has an Excel sheet for his scripts. And every little comment, he can jot it in, and then he can date things. So, you know, be very detailed oriented to keep track on ideas and feedback especially. One person tells you feedback that helps elevate your script, awesome. But sometimes 5 people tell you things on a script that's not working. 5 people, yeah, you need to go back and work on it. But again, if you've got something like he has an Excel sheet, just create something that you can work with is all I'd say.
And then don't forget that once you've created, just say a script, like what I'm doing with my unsold scripts, I'm turning them into novels. You could maybe turn them into short stories or into a web series or into something different. just because you've started it as one kind of format doesn't mean it can't be changed into other formats, or can be used in different ways in different stories. The same characters put into different stories. So none of your creativity should be thrown away. You don't know how you may be able to use it in different versions.
A question that I have to all of you who are beginning or young or writers, entry-level writers, starting out writers, up-and-coming writers. What's your motivation? Don't give me this, I got a story I got to tell. You got to earn a living. So what do you expect to get from your script? I mean, are you looking for a 7-figure check or what? I mean, what is the motivating factor here?
Are you asking us to answer or for
Yes,
ourselves?
I'm asking you to answer. I'm saying, what is it that drives you to do this? I ran across a post the other day where some guy was saying, well, geez, I never did get to cash a 7-digit check. Have you ever done that? I had to write him back, said, no, did a couple of 6-figure checks, but not 7. So, what do you really expect out of this? What is the realistic expectation that you're doing? If you're writing for fun, that's fine. If you're writing professionally, what do you really see is professional? You want to sit and spend your time in a writer's room on a series? It's not really a good life, let me tell you. They give you stale pizza and flat coffee for breakfast. So, but what is it that you really want to do? I mean, you want to be the top of the line. You want to become Mr. Tarantino? What do you want? I'm asking you.
I'll answer.
Okay.
I want a couple things. One, as an actor, in this day and age, if you're not making your own work, you feel remiss because other people are. And if you're not getting cast in things, you think, well, maybe I didn't do enough to launch myself. So that's one reason. Another reason is, frankly, everything I see is trite. So much TV that I see is so formulaic and so brutal and relies on jokes that are no longer acceptable and now doesn't know what to do with itself. So I want to write something that's current, that can be funny without being offensive, and that isn't your stereotypical beginning, middle, end that everyone's already seen. I also really strongly feel my characters are new and haven't been shown before. So I want to show those characters and, frankly, me.
So what about the rest of you?
What about, sorry? Oh, the rest of you. That's just me. The rest of you are free to speak for yourself.
Doug, I want to leave a legacy behind. When I die, I want to leave a legacy behind. That's why I get up every day and write.
Why?
Why? Because I feel, I don't want to get too philosophical, but I feel I'm on this earth for a purpose. So I write things that have a lot of meaning. That's my motivation.
Can I go next?
Go for it.
Okay. I write because I'm surrounded by so many funny people, both people I know in my life and even people who I don't know, who I just follow on social media. And there is such a genre of humor that exists on Twitter from just young people who just observe the world, have very casual commentary on it, put something out there. And even the most simple tweets or observations can sometimes be so defining of an entire generation's view of the world. And even just such small little glimpses of that can really just say so much about the culture for where it is at that moment. So I really want to write for people kind of like my age who just, their sense of humor just really isn't formulaic. It's raw. It comes from generations of people who actually grew up watching television and watching film, and how that impacted our minds. That's how we view our world. That's how we view ourselves. The show Euphoria on HBO, I'm not sure if you guys watched that. The way that the show creator Sam Levinson actually describes it is he wants the characters who are seen on show to be seen almost the way that teenagers view themselves, and that's the way it comes across on the show. So for me, I want my writing and my characters, I'm much more of a dialogue writer and more of like a character development kind of person. I really want to create characters that when people see them on screen, they truly, truly feel like I know that person, I am that person, I hate that person, but I work with them. I want to create really realistic characters. And also, as someone who went to university as an English major where I constantly studied so much text, I want to create characters that actually can be studied later on down the road. Right? Okay, what did this one character symbolize? Who was this commentary of? What demographic of people was this supposed to connect with or be a criticism of? That's me.
Can I say
Go
what?
next. Oh, go ahead.
I write because I think there is nothing that I can do better than writing. And this is the only thing that when I'm doing, I feel not tired. I can wake up early morning. I can go to the bed like very late. And I feel that when I'm writing, I can express myself, especially, somehow I'm advocate for disabled people. So I want to write the stories that make the world better place for them and for all of us. And also I feel like with writing and making movies, we can, show many ways that people can try to make the world a better place.
Great. Nick,
I'll go
you were,
next.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I write because, I know I've always, I mean, it's cliche, but I've been, really passionate about since I was young, like I was 5, and I knew I was kind of different in a way because, I would watch some movies and it's kind of weird, but I would like bounce the ball and think of ideas in my head and think of how to make a movie. And Bollywood was my first inspiration, and that's the only thing I was influenced by in the beginning. But I would literally like do that like after school and stuff. So I know I have that in me, and and I know like like when I look back, that was kind of my initial passion. So I want to utilize that, regardless of whatever career I'm in right now. I do want to utilize like what my passion and just go for it. And also I want to make movies that can inspire people, and I want to showcase my interests. And if so
Great.
Christina, I'm going to jump in next because my battery
Sure.
is about to die. So first of all, thank you for letting me jump in, and it was great meeting everyone. Like Julie, I'm an actor, so that's kind of what's prompted me to write. And I've been at this for a long time. I've done a lot of theater, being in New York. I've been out to LA a few times, had a bunch of meetings. Haven't sold anything yet. Come close a few times, but it's all about provoking thought for me. I want to tell stories that provoke thought. And again, I think that's something that we're lacking a lot, and we're dying for truth. It has a lot to do with the political scene in the world today, but I think we're all dying for good, solid truth. So that's what motivates me a lot in my writing.
Good. Pauline, did you want to say something? Are you frozen?
Uh-oh.
So
Actually,
far,
I'm thinking about the answer. That's a very good question. All of my life, I've always wanted to do this. It's been a dream of mine. And as I've shared with some of you, at one point in my life, I could have really gone into this as my career, but I chose a different route. And I've been, it's been a very fulfilling, very successful career, but I just never got this out of my system. And also for people who look like me, I just don't believe that our story has really been told in the way that I know it, in the way that I have lived it. At first we were missing altogether. Then it was very stereotypical. You see more and more Black people now on television. Then, you know, some of what I'm seeing is kind of even offensive because I think it's still even stereotypical. And so, and then just the quality of and I'm thinking of television more so than film right now. I can't find anything on television that I really want to watch. I don't think the quality is there. And, you know, I'm interested in writing to tell, you know, the story, our story. Many different stories go through my head. I work with different types of genres. And I'm starting to think even more, you know, as I age and as I guess, really get more involved or become more of a person of faith than I was when I was younger. I think I would like to even work with a network like PureFlix or something like that, because I don't know, I guess a lot of what I'm seeing, it is offensive to me, and I'm looking for something of higher quality, and I would like to be involved in that myself. And then as an educational researcher, I do a lot of research on social justice and things of that nature. I produce television shows, a talk show. I'm working, even have ideas on a documentary. And what I'm trying to do in education is to take what has been buried in academic journals and take it to the screen. So to actually show different findings that might be important to, say, teachers, the general public, and to lawmakers who are passing laws and making laws on things that happen in school. And you would be surprised, they don't even look at the research. And I'm thinking, well, if I can make it, put it out there so that they can see it, then maybe some different types of laws might result. So I'm all over the place, really. I have so many different interests and so many different reasons. And not one of them really until now has been about getting paid. And I guess I'm not really, well, I shouldn't say I'm not interested in it, because if somebody offered me a deal, I'd be very excited about it. But that has not been the importance to me. I was just telling a friend today, I would always come home when I was younger and I would say, oh, I have this great project. And my mother would always say, well, how much are they paying you? And I would say, well, it's a good opportunity and it's really a good idea, you know, things like that. So it was never about the money or anything. It was about the story or the information that I want to get out there. Sorry, I took too long to answer that.
That was great.
No problem.
Love it. Yeah.
So Barbara, what about you?
Well, a lot of what everyone's saying I agree with as well. I mean, I write to heal the world and myself, and you know, I do believe that stories are always going to be around. Storytelling goes far back, all the way to like back in the day when people used to sit around the campfire telling stories, right? And I mean, I totally agree with the whole, you know, superficial layer of stories right now that, you know, have been out recently. It's not been that depth that has been there. And yes, definitely, Doug, I mean, you know, I do have a few $1 million ideas, so definitely putting those out there as well. But yeah, that's pretty much what I would say.
Great. Angela, you wanted to say something?
Oh, I mean, yeah, just to make a living as a writer would be amazing. And it's just, I mean, I've been an actor and comedian for a while, and writing has just kind of been a part of it. And I like the idea, I'm an opinionated person, so I like the idea of telling people what to think in a creative way that doesn't make them think that they're being convinced of something. And I like the idea that, not to sound whatever, but just to say that it could change lives and it could change people's minds. I mean, you always hope that you can change some people's minds about certain things by seeing it through characters and being attached to these characters. And you hope that, you know, certain biases get faded away and that you hope people learn and grow and be better people. But I mean, like, that's just the starry-eyed part of me.
Mike.
Yeah, I guess my motivation is like I said in the beginning, I've always done it on the side. I've worked 9 to 5 most of my career, and I don't like working 9 to 5. I mean, I'm not, obviously writing is a grind too, but it's a different aspect. And I'm always just been interested in film too. So in general, I'm starting with the writing, see where, you know, I'm trying to work on that and be the best writer I can be and make connections through here and just learn more about the industry and whatnot. Given, like I said, given this opportunity that I lost my job through COVID, I was like, you know what, now's the time to just pursue something maybe I wish I had pursued at one point. And I have other things to fall back on if it doesn't work out, but I at least like to pursue it and meet people. And, you know, maybe through this I meet, well, you know, I like writing now, but I talked to somebody about something else and I said, well, I like that aspect too. And, you know, that's kind of my motivation, at least start with the writing because I like doing it. And I feel like that's where my strength is right now, to at least kind of go that route.
So you live in Jersey. Is there a cable station, a community TV station that you're near that you can go and volunteer and learn all about production?
Yeah, I've been trying to look into stuff like that. It's just not many places are really hiring anything right now, or even having volunteers. At least I haven't seen anything. I keep on looking. It's just because of the environment we're in. There's just not as much projects or not as much things going on, I think. And who knows if, you know, when activity does ramp up, there's probably a lot of people maybe in line ahead of, you know, who have just getting out of film school. At least that's my thinking of it. But, you know, I'm always, yes, keeping my ear to the grindstone and, you know, looking out for opportunities. And even after this, I'll look, you know, for things of that nature, like you just mentioned.
And also look how you can help in any way with any local productions. Anybody shooting any short films, you know, so you be on set, like Doug said, and, you know, meet the people because you don't know where they're going to be in 5 or 10 years. And so you have those contacts.
Yeah, good point. Thank you.
Put your name out, you know, in social media and any of the Facebook saying, I live in Jersey and is anybody doing a short film shoot I can help on?
Okay, no, that's a good point. Thanks.
There's a good Facebook groups for that.
Yeah, because
Which ones are they? Which Facebook groups, Jesse?
Start and Screen. I know here in Canada, there's a really good one for those, or the I Need a Fixer producer. Some in Toronto, there's a few, but I'm pretty sure like those are like the Canadian versions. Like I'm sure there's American versions as well too. I know obviously it's like the States is a much bigger country population wise, at least. Whereas here in Canada, it's mostly just like Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. But if you just type in groups like I Need a Fixer, I Need a Producer, or like Start and Screen, there are like versions of that where that's how like I've been mostly looking for like my jobs and networking for the past couple months in Toronto.
yeah, Nick, I've sent you that list on Facebook of all for scripts and filmmakers. You've gotten that list and you'll get the updated list tomorrow again.
Okay, yeah, I just was wondering about specifically towards that. Yeah, but yeah, I'll review.
Yeah, and then put in your request. Say, I'm in whatever city and I'm looking to help on a film shoot. Because you need to network and to get the hands-on on what really happens during a film shoot.
Yeah, sure. What about if they're just short films?
No, that's what
is
I mean,
that okay?
short film.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be like big budget or
Oh,
anything.
no,
just any.
no.
Okay. Yeah, because
Nobody's going to hire you for a big budget film with your lack of experience.
Okay.
You have to understand that. My question was, what is it that's motivating you people as new writers, as beginning writers? And every one of you has come up with a real nice, touchy-feely, fuzzy, squishy answer. But you know, screenwriting is a profession. And there's one thing that I want to stress to you guys who are just starting out right now. Do you know the difference between a medium pizza and a screenwriter? I don't think many of you do, but a medium pizza can feed a small family. A screenwriter can't. So, you know, you have to approach this realistically. Where do you think you're going? Now, is there any problem between being a screenwriter or being an attorney or being an engineer or, whatever? There's nothing shameful about being an accountant or an attorney. Well, maybe the attorney there, but nothing really problematic with any other career that you want to have. Why did you pick screenwriting? This is a very difficult business, as I'm sure you're understanding. And the rewards of being a screenwriter, you're looking at these rewards of being, cashing 7-figure checks and stuff like that, and spending your life on the red carpet between the velvet ropes. And I've been, in between the velvet ropes. I know how much work it takes to get there. And if you're not motivated with that, you're not motivated. You can forget all the touchy-feely stuff you want to have, but it's a profession. Now, you can be a professional nurse. There's a lot of benefits to that. You can be a professional surgeon. There's a lot of benefits to that. You can go into the same thing. But this is a business. That's all it is, pure and simple. Get over
it. Raymond.
To go with Doug, I'll tell you guys my story. I actually went into my life in university as an engineer. I actually got my engineering degree back in 2003, and I was not in the film industry. That got a job, and then they dropped me pretty fast because, oil and gas companies, they drop people like flies. I ran into a buddy who worked at the news report area, and I ended up getting into more of the, news report side of film industry and everything, and started falling into that. I've been in the industry now for 16 years. And obviously I could have gone back and found another engineering job, made my 6 digits a year. And I did first get into this for the money. I was like, look, a lot of people need news reporters. They need news camera guys. They need guys to film them because, they need that. And I fell into just doing it for the paycheck. But to go along with everyone else, like Jesse, I think pointed out, he was talking about doing stories that motivates people, that really gets you into a different mindset. Barbara said the same thing, that to me, the money is obviously, it's a helpful thing. And like Julie said, if someone pays me, that means I'm doing something right. If someone gives me the money to do it, great. And I'll keep doing it. I've been a freelancer for 16 years in this industry. It is very tough. I agree. I've had years where I was wondering what kind of ramen noodle I was going to have. And then there were some years and I'm like, hey, I can actually have, pasta, So I know how crappy it is. And I've lived in 3 different cities in 2 different countries, over my time. And, going back to you guys talking about joining all the groups. I mean, I've been in Toronto for a year and a half and I've gone to networking groups, and this is how, and why I love this kind of thing is because that's how you collaborate and slowly build yourself up. I didn't get on the TV show because I was good. I got on TV show because I networked through short films. I did stuff for free. I jumped on as a PA on a couple projects. They're like, oh, what do you do? I was like, oh yeah, I do cinematography. My buddy who got his writing and he had to do the exact same thing. So all the things I keep hearing is like, yeah, these are things even I can attest to those things. And I've seen it firsthand being on sets, that it is definitely something that works. I've done documentaries across the world and I've heard the same stories left and right. And you're right, Doug. You only do the heartsy stuff until you're like, I can't feed myself tomorrow, and then you have to remotivate yourself back to money, which unfortunately is true, right? And we all are aiming to obviously make money and do what we love. And I think that's the balance we're all wanting, is to be able to do what we love and get paid and when you get paid, you know you've done a good job, right? And then you're looking for your next project. So that's my story.
Okay, so we've got less than 10 minutes to go. So let's everybody tell us what goal you're going to set for when we come back again together on Monday, December the 7th. So Alex, what's your goal?
Sorry, wait, why was it December 7th? Isn't it 2 weeks from now? So that's November 30th?
No, it's the first and third Monday of the month.
Oh, okay. So it'll be a skipped. Okay, so it'll be 3
So we're
weeks from now.
skipping 3 weeks because
Okay.
there's 5 Mondays in November.
Okay.
So the next one,
Sure.
Monday, November the 7th. So Alex, what's your goal?
And then after that will be December 21st. Do we still?
Yes.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So Alex?
Hey, Christine, first of all, thank you. I don't even know how I met you, but this has been very enlightening. So, you know, the power of social media, I guess, right? For an old fart.
Yes.
My goal actually is work related because I run a clinic. I've got to write 2 grants, so I have to put my own stuff on the side for now. So, unfortunately.
Okay. Nick, what's your goal?
Oh, until the 7th. You know, I'm gonna continue writing my my initial script that I'm working on, and I'm 20 pages within, and I'm working on, I think the script outline, developing that, and then doing some rewrites and just developing more of the script. Yeah, pretty much like maybe 5-10 pages more and stuff.
Great. Good.
So just expanding on that.
Angela.
Speaking of money, I'm working towards this deadline so I can get some money. I have a young son. I have a 2-year-old, and I had to hide away in a hotel room for 4 days to get the deadline ready. So now it's just polishing it and sending it off for coverage.
Great. John.
Okay. I want to finish up the one that I was just telling you about. That was really my first script from 5 years ago. My goal is by the end of this month to get it out to at least 50 producers in a query letter, producers that I have queried before. A little thing about what you were saying before, motivation. I'm a little different than all you. I'm retired from a full-time profession with a pension and everything else, so I'm totally different. I coached for 46 years. I coached football for 46 years. One thing that I learned in football, which is very goal-oriented, but goes to any business or anything. You worry about the process and the rest will take care of itself. Nobody here talks about learning or things like that and, getting better every day. The difference between football and this, don't get me wrong, in football, I wanted to win every game. I won my share of championships. I was very good at it. But you got paid with a trophy there. You're doing this now for the money because that's your trophy. That's the trophy you take home. That's your Super Bowl ring is if you ever get on the red carpet. But that's your Super Bowl ring. So, that's the way I approach it, at least. When I was in college, a creative writing teacher offered me an internship with a Broadway playwright. Unfortunately, I couldn't take it because it would have been the whole summer and I had to come back for football, which I loved. I loved coaching, don't get me wrong. I loved it 100%. But after I retired, I decided to see, let's see if she's right. So if you're not playing for the trophy, you shouldn't be on the field. And the trophy is to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse, what's your goal?
I hope to finish my show Bible and not just finish it, but make it actually good, legible, and appealing for people to want to invest in it.
First mistake you made was you said you hope to. You don't hope to.
Okay, I'm going to.
You
going
do.
to. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Pauline. Pauline, hopefully we'll hear back about your script revisions.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. And then doing edits on it, reading through it, doing more edits, and possibly arrange for another reading of the script.
Great. Julie.
Hello. My goal continues to be finding committed co-writers.
Good. Mike.
My goal will be to, as I mentioned in the beginning, finish the rewrite of that one script, and then I guess what came up on this call, try to find maybe a volunteer opportunity or something with a film school or anything to learn more that way.
Great. Fatima.
My goal is continue Screenwriter's Bible book and finish my short script, and if I can, I want to start my feature screenplay idea. I'm not sure if I can do it all three, but I'm
Great.
trying. Yeah.
Good. Vincent.
All right, my goal is find people that can help me market Stand Tall, like preferably an actress who can help market the lead character and be presentable to potential producers. Also revise my Fugitive Sweetheart, and then get back to screen time so I can complete it.
Good. Barbara.
Going to continue writing. Check out that Netflix situation on November 30th, I think it was. And that's about it for now.
Raymond, have you got one?
Yeah, so for me, my always goal is to keep networking. I think the network, to me, the bigger the network, the more projects you jump on. And to go with John, yes, to always become better and learn better my craft. I'm not learning if I'm sitting on my ass and behind these computers. So I learn when I'm doing stuff. So I'm always looking for, and I love writers because I love collaborating with writers and helping them make proof of concepts. That's always a fun thing for me because it's, we get a team together, we keep going. The bigger the network, the better you go.
What about you, Doug?
Oh, I think this week I'm going to finish editing on my cable TV show. And I've got some editing to do on some film footage I shot the other day for the local news station. I'm going to start a project on homelessness in America. Maybe not. I don't know. But, the one thing I'll tell you, Raymond, is that having a big network is all fine and dandy. Having a good network is better. And, I think in the network that I have on, stage 32, I think I have maybe 4, 5, 6 people in there. People that I've known and worked with over the years. People who are experienced actors, actresses. Those are the people you want to connect with. It's not just everybody, across the face of the globe. They're not going to do you a damn bit of good. Anyway, having said that, I got to go. It's dinner time. Talk to you later. Sayonara.
Good chatting, everybody. Bye.
I know. Bye.
And my goal is to finish my Hallmark spec Christmas TV mystery and get the last 2 edits in and start sending it out to producers. Okay, so I'll be sending you an email tomorrow with different kind of documents and NDA and about that image Netflix link. And hopefully you've got some positive news when we meet together. Put it on your calendar for Monday, December the 7th. And so have a great 3 weeks until we see you again.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving to those of you in the States.
Okay, signing off, 10-4.
Bye, thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
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 Bye.